And now we land in diarrhea. Gross to think about, but that's it. Just gross to think about. Here's another thing I appreciate about this game. Appreciate about. Whenever you're swimming around in the water, or in this case the fecal matter, you have floaties, which is kind of cute. And then this part of the game comes along. You get confidence pills, which allow you to dive in the water, and then you take your floaties off. That's just such a great way to teach the player how to dive in the water. It's not some learned ability, you just gain the confidence to do it. Don't know what the equivalent to confidence pills are in the real world. Maybe there are actually confidence pills in real life. But I wouldn't know, because I don't do drugs, kids, and I don't smoke and I don't drink. And if you're smoking now, then please stop. I don't know why anyone would smoke specifically while watching a video, but I mean just smoking in the general scheme of your life. Just stop. But, hey, I can't tell you what to do. I just have recommendations. So let's dive. There's the bowl. And there we have a bowl. I didn't fall earlier, but if I had fallen, then I would have gone through this hole, which just leads us back here for unexplained reasons. Because, yeah, another complaint with this game is that doors don't really bring you to logical locations. Because in most games, if you see a house and there's a door, you expect to go through the door and end up in the house. Even if it's bigger on the inside, even if you know that it's an entirely separate screen, like an entirely separate loading zone that's not in any way related to where you just were, you still get the illusion that you're entering a house, and that it's the same house. But in this game, sometimes there are times when you just go through a door, and where you end up is completely illogical. Not right now, this part makes sense, but there are so many places that lead to this poo storage house. It's just kind of awkward. But, yeah, continuing on. Now we're rolling a ball of poo around. A ball of Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. I think that A Hat in Time is going to have a poo area in it. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I do seem to recall announcements for the game implying that there's, like, a Toilet of Doom, which is maybe some outhouse. And there was a screenshot of Hat Kid getting covered in poo, or she was just totally covered in feces. And, I like to imagine that somewhere in that game is an area like this that's just nothing but crap. And after playing this game, like, other ways that this game has inspired me in many different ways is, like, I've wanted to make my own crap area, because in what other game is there a world themed around poop besides this one? There's plenty of snow worlds and grass worlds and cliff and mountain worlds and lava worlds and, like, just ice worlds and poison swamps, and just about anything that you can think of has been done before. But until this game, I'm pretty sure there was never a poop section. And ever since this game, I don't think that there's ever been another poop section. This game managed to find a level theme that hadn't been done before, and I think that's really impressive. And it's just interesting. Here's another interesting thing. Here's a big dung beetle blocking the path. Just add one stick of TNT. Where did you get that, Conker? Do you just have TNT on your person? In your pants? In your invisible pants that are not invisible and Live and Reloaded? Because I guess they felt like, oh dear, this game is too edgy for the kiddos, we need to add pants. I don't get it. The intro to, or like the tutorial area, with Birdie and with the gargoyle and everything has slightly different dialogue, like they recorded more lines for it because the combat system changed. But, like, I think that's cool, but I still think most things about the remake are not as good. One thing about the remake is, instead of a frying pan, did I mention this? I'm not sure, but in the remake, you have a baseball bat with a nail in it, and what makes that different is... Shoot, I'm just kind of drawing a blank. Like, there's combat in the game where you use the baseball bat to hit creatures and kill them, whereas in this version of the game, you never hit things to kill them, you only stun enemies, and that's useful for puzzles and stuff. Not that any of the puzzles in this game can necessarily qualify as puzzles, because they're not all that complicated, but even still, like, I think the idea of having a weapon and not using it for killing things, or even necessarily for any kind of detailed combat, is just... it's cool, and I haven't seen other games really do it.
Hey, where the f*** you been, you ginger bastard?
I think that is also what they call Robin Beanland. Because he's a ginger. And I also like the touch of, specifically with that money, which you don't have to use the giant poo ball to get up to, but it's helpful to do so. It's helpful to do so, Robinson Crusoe. I started making random rhymes more often, I think, because I've been listening to hip-hop. And that is why I wear flip-flops. I don't wear flip-flops. Yeah, his voice is muffled in that cutscene. That's a nice touch. I like it. I also like how whenever you fall down in this area, you don't take fall damage, because Conker just slams his face into the squishy poop. Which is disgusting, but hey. Leaning back in my chair for comfort. I didn't really show it, but all the other dung beetles in the game hurt you. They attack you, actively attack you. But this one, you bump into him, he's like, hey, watch where you're going. And then the dung beetle, this one in particular, turns out to be polite. It's a bit odd.
It was me and the lads. We're having a cup of tea. The next thing we know, Tezza's gone.
Tezza?
We couldn't find him. We thought, maybe he's just gone off, you know. Like,
I think Tezza might be the name of an enemy. Or maybe it's Baza. Maybe Baza is the name of an enemy in Donkey Kong. And also potentially one of the polar bear children, one of Boggy's kids in Banjo-Kazooie. Don't quote me on that, because I'm not positive, but I think so. I'm sure that Baza has been used in more than just this situation in rare games.
The lads are gone. The bastards didn't help me in. I'm out of here. You can do what you like. There's some money up there if you can be asked to get it. See yous.
Of course we will be arsed to get it, because this is a video game and it just makes sense. Do we make footprints in the poop? I think we do. Yes.
Flick on. How you doing, guys?
How you doing, guys? Referring to just the one.
Who's that? Can't see anyone.
It's like in Super Mario RPG.
That's what he wants.
When they say, you fools! When Mario, just by himself, stands on the cake. When really it's supposed to imply that Mario and everyone in his party is also standing on the cake. You just don't see them because in RPGs, everyone just kind of gets inhaled by the main character while you're walking around. And it appears that the corn is also being inhaled. This is a Jaws reference. I said that this game has gotten me to watch a lot of movies that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. Lots of classics. But I haven't seen Jaws yet. And I think it's just because the concept doesn't sound all that interesting to me. It doesn't really grab me. I feel like I probably already know everything there is to know about Jaws. Like, I know that there's a shark that kills people, and There's that part where they say, we'll need a bigger boat, because it's a huge shark. And I assume that once you actually get to the point where you see the shark, instead of it just being this kind of invisible off-screen entity, it becomes less menacing. I know it's got huge reviews, great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and such, and it's a critically acclaimed masterpiece, and it's why, like, it's one of the big reasons why Steven Spielberg is considered such an amazing director, but, I haven't always been impressed by Spielberg's movies. Like, I guess my only real, my only immediate thought with that is I've seen the Indiana Jones movies, and not even referring to the fourth one, I don't think the Indiana Jones movies are, like, superb. Third one I found predictable, entertaining, but predictable. And, first one's good. I would say it's a good movie. Second one, I find very flawed, but it's probably my favorite because it's the most intense one. But I still wouldn't call it one of my absolute favorites, or even anything like life-changing or anything like that. But I guess maybe that's the thing, is that Spielberg is good at making just enjoyable, entertaining movies, not necessarily stuff that you expect to see as #1 hits for the Best Picture nominees. Again, I've seen Jurassic Park, which, again, was something that I liked but found kind of predictable and not amazing, but still good. I could recommend it. That one I think I saw because of Toy Story 2, with the scene with Rex in the rearview mirror.
I am the Great Mighty Poo, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat?
Lovely. This is the most noteworthy boss of the game. He is the other character besides the Panther King, the other male character who isn't voiced by Chris Seaver. And I wish that I could remember the name, but I don't. This boss, in terms of just being a battle, is not all that impressive, but the concept of it, the fact that this exists, is amazing. And also, it's just really cool, I think, that the boss syncs up to the music.
Do you really think you'll survive in here? You don't seem to know which creek you're in.
I'm glad he says creek and not crick.
Sweet corn is the only thing that makes it through my rear. How do you think I keep this lovely grin? Have some more caviar.
How many teeth does he have? It looks like 7? I think he has 7 teeth? I couldn't quite count what his bottom teeth were, but I don't think he has 6. I think he has 7. And I'm just thinking about it because we collected 6 pieces of corn before fighting the boss. I was just wondering if maybe every single one of his teeth came from our collecting them, which would be interesting. Oh, there you go. Nope, okay. You, Alright. You have a mouthful of toilet paper, of TP. I will make a teepee out of this teepee. There was so much love put into this boss fight. Like, whenever you throw the toilet paper, there's streams of the paper going around everywhere, and it looks all nice. All these textures flowing everywhere. It's... What even is this room? Like, I'm just now noticing the big spine or whatever it is in the background. Shoot. Don't miss out. This shouldn't be hard. I missed my... Oh, I didn't miss my chance. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for being a little bit lenient there, game. This game is not always forgiving. Sometimes it is very, very unforgiving, but it decided to be forgiving this time.
Now I'm really getting rather mad. You're like a niggly, tickly, shitty little tat.
Actually quite good at singing.
When I've knocked you out with all my bab, I'm going to take your head and ram it up my butt.
Your butt?
My butt.
Your butt?
That's right, my butt. My butt.
My butt, spelled with only one T this time for some reason. Yeah, the music just fits. It makes this fight. It's definitely got this movie original score feel to it. The way it gets faster throughout the battle and all the attacks are synced up with it. And it's a work of art. And a work of fart, you could say. But I didn't just go there. Strategy here, I think that he only ever shows up in 3 locations at once, so you always want to make sure whichever way he's facing, or whichever position he's in, whenever he's about to sing, just make sure that you're staring in between the other 2 positions, and then you'll be able to choose one pretty quickly. It'll make more sense once I'm actually there. He's like a snowman. He's using his own body as projectiles. Okay, there he is. He's going to move to one of these 2 locations. It turns out to be this one. Okay, good. His mouth is the grossest thing. I don't know why it's green. Because I guess there is green poop sometimes. Sometimes you just have that poop that does that. That green excrement. Don't know why that is, but maybe it's snot. Don't know why you would have snot and crap mixed together, but it's possible. Because, like, maybe you blow into a toilet paper because you don't have any tissues and... shoot. Can you be over here this time? Thank you. Throw. Good. We've done it. I find it interesting that he calls his anus a chocolate starfish. I'd never heard that term before this. But I guess that makes sense, because that's what a butt crack is shaped like. Kind of. Because of the dry stuff. I don't know what you would call a pinching, like the creases. There we go. That's probably the word I was looking for. I think this game is very Alice in Wonderland-esque in various different ways, but the main inspiration for it probably was Wizard of Oz. Because of this. Well, I say main inspiration like everything in this game was taken directly from Wizard of Oz. These lines were referenced from Wizard of Oz, but it just has that feel of a trippy, weird adventure in a different world.
Now that's what I call a bowel movement.
Great punchline. I don't think I understood it exactly the first time that I played the game, but it's a bowel movement because a movement is a term in music.
Here I am, you greedy bastard.
I don't know if that's the reason that they made this whole sequence, or if that was just, like, a punchline that they came up with afterwards, but either way, it's perfect. Now, I'm sure whenever they had the idea for the boss fight, they said, oh, we need to have it end with a flush. A royal flush, you could say. And time to just completely ignore everything and fall into this hole and die, except we don't really die because we end up in the poop cabin. For some reason. Who even knows?